The steady hum of hospital machines fills the dim room as Daniel Carter sits beside his mother's bed. Martha Carter, frail and pale, grips his hand with unexpected strength. "Daniel," she rasps, her voice cracking with age and fear. "Stay away from Lily. Promise me." Daniel's brow tightens. "She's my daughter, Mom. Why would you promise me?" Her eyes flash open, wild and knowing. He hesitates, caught between disbelief and dread. "I promise," he whispers. When her hand falls limp, Daniel feels a hollow silence expand inside him. Outside, rain drums against the window, echoing like a heartbeat he can no longer ignore. He looks toward the gray sky and wonders what kind of mother warns her son against his own child. Days later, Daniel stands at the kitchen sink, washing dishes that never seem to end. The silence of the house feels heavier than the rain that once fell outside. Lily Carter moves quietly behind him, sketching in her notebook. "Dad," she says without looking up. "Grandma's gone, isn't she?" He nods without turning. "Yeah, she's gone." Lily pauses, her pencil still. "She told me something before she got sick." Daniel turns, heart tightening. "What did she say?" Lily looks up, eyes dark and distant. "She said you'd forget who I am." The glass slips from his hand and shatters on the floor. That night, Daniel dreams of his mother's voice whispering through the wind. He wakes in darkness, heart pounding. The house is silent, except for faint scratching sounds from Lily's room. He pushes open her door and finds her asleep, hand moving on the sketch pad, pencil etching shapes she cannot see. The drawing shows the same hospital bed, the same flickering lights. Daniel's breath catches. "Lily," he murmurs, her eyes open, glowing faintly in the dark. "She's not gone, Dad," she whispers. "She's waiting." The next morning, Daniel burns the drawing in the sink. The paper curls into black ash as smoke twists toward the ceiling. Lily watches silently from the hallway, her reflection flickering in the kitchen window. "Why did you do that?" she asks softly. Daniel doesn't answer. He stares at the flame until it dies. "Because some things," he says at last, "should never be drawn." She tilts her head, voice barely a whisper. "She said you'd say that." Her footsteps fade down the hall, leaving Daniel staring at the ashes. That evening, Daniel sits alone in the garage, engine oil staining his hands. The silence presses in again, until the faint sound of a lullaby echoes from Lily's room upstairs. It's Martha's voice, unmistakable, singing the same song she used to hum when Daniel was a child. He freezes, wrench dropping to the floor. Slowly, he looks toward the staircase. The air feels heavier, colder. He whispers into the emptiness, "Mom?" But the lullaby continues, soft and distant, as Lily's shadow moves across the window upstairs. The next morning brings uneasy silence. Daniel Carter drives Lily to school, their conversation replaced by the hum of tires on wet asphalt. "You've been quiet lately," he says, trying to sound casual. Lily stares out the window, fingers tracing invisible shapes on the glass. "I'm just tired." He nods, but his jaw tightens. As she steps out, he watches her walk away, her shoulders small against the gray sky. When she disappears into the crowd, Daniel exhales slowly, a sense of wrongness settling deep in his chest. He grips the steering wheel, remembering his mother's words, "Stay away from her." For the first time, he wonders if she didn't mean protection, but survival. At the auto shop, Daniel works in silence, surrounded by the clang of tools and the smell of oil. The radio hums faintly with static before a voice cuts through, a whisper that repeats, "You promised." He freezes, wrench in hand. "Who's there?" His coworker glances over. "You okay, man?" Daniel nods, but the sound comes again, softer, from the shadows beneath the car. Heart pounding, he kneels to look. finding nothing but a small charm, his mother's silver pendant, the one buried with her. It gleams faintly in the dust. When he picks it up, the air turns icy, and his reflection in the chrome bumper smiles back at him, though his own lips remain still. That evening, Daniel sits alone at the kitchen table, the pendant before him. Its surface ripples like water when the light hits. He recalls his mother's funeral, the soil falling over her coffin, the way Lily had stared too long at the grave. The phone rings, shattering his thoughts. Detective Area Bell introduces herself. "Mr. Carter, this is regarding your daughter." His pulse spikes. "Is she okay?" A pause. "She's safe. But the school counselor reported some concerning drawings in her locker. You might want to come down tomorrow." Daniel glances at the pendant again. Its reflection now shows two silhouettes, his and someone standing behind him. The next day at school, Daniel meets Detective Area Bell, a calm woman with sharp eyes and a voice that cuts through noise like glass. She spreads Lily's drawings across the table, each page showing the same thing. A house half buried in earth, its windows glowing red. She said, "It's the place where Grandma sleeps," Arya says quietly. Daniel's hands tremble as he flips through the pages. The lines grow darker, more frenzied. "She's been visiting something," Arya adds. At night, Daniel's throat tightens. "That's not possible. She's home with me every night." Arya looks at him steadily. Then who's sleeping in her bed? That night, Daniel returns home to find Lily's bedroom door open, curtains fluttering though the window is closed. The air smells faintly of earth. Her bed is neatly made, but beneath the covers lies a hollow indentation, as if someone invisible just rose and left. He follows faint, muddy footprints down the hallway, through the back door and into the woods behind the house. The moonlight guides him to a clearing he's never seen before. A mound of disturbed soil with a single object placed on top. Lily's sketchbook. He opens it and freezes. The first page shows him, kneeling beside her grave. Dawn bleeds into the forest as Daniel Carter kneels in the clearing, the sketchbook trembling in his hands. Each page grows darker, the house half buried, the red windows glowing brighter, and finally, Lily standing before it with someone who looks like Martha Carter. His breath catches. A whisper slides through the air. His mother's voice, faint but certain. "You shouldn't have come here." Daniel snaps his head around, heart pounding. The forest stands still, every branch motionless. When he looks back down, the sketchbook is gone. The soil beneath him begins to pulse, slow and steady, like the heartbeat of something waking beneath the earth. Later that morning, Detective Area Bell arrives at Daniel's house, clipboard in hand. She surveys the yard, eyes narrowing at the muddy footprints trailing from the woods to the porch. Inside, Daniel sits by the kitchen table, silent, pale. "You went after her," Arya says softly. He nods once. "I found where she's been going." Arya glances toward the hallway. "And where is she now?" Daniel swallows hard. "Upstairs. Sleeping." Arya walks to the base of the staircase, but her expression tightens. "No, Daniel," she says. "That's not your daughter." Arya climbs the stairs carefully, one hand resting on her holstered weapon. The door to Lily's room creaks open. Inside, the bed is empty, except for a shape under the blanket that breathes slowly. Daniel stands behind her, frozen. Arya lifts the blanket's edge and gasps. It's Lily's clothes, folded neatly, wrapped around soil and roots shaped like a human form. "What is this?" she whispers. Daniel's eyes widen. "She's not here." A low voice drifts from the corner. Lily's voice, yet not her own. "You shouldn't have followed me, Dad." The light bulb flickers, revealing her reflection in the window, standing outside, staring in. Daniel rushes outside, calling for Lily, but the yard is empty. Only her footprints lead toward the forest. smaller now, lighter, as if she's fading. Aria follows, her flashlight cutting through the shadows. "You said your mother warned you," she says breathlessly. "Why?" Daniel hesitates, because she said something runs in our blood, something she tried to bury. They reach the tree line where the mist thickens, curling like smoke around their legs. A whisper floats from within. Two voices this time, one young, one old, speaking in unison. "Come home." That night, Daniel can't sleep. The pendant sits on his nightstand, shimmering faintly in the dark. He hears soft footsteps outside his bedroom door, then a knock. 3 times, slow and deliberate. He opens the door, but no one's there. Instead, a folded paper rests on the floor. He unfolds it with shaking hands. It's one of Lily's sketches, this time showing Dr. Stephen Haldane standing beside Martha's grave, holding the same pendant. Written beneath in Lily's handwriting are the words, "He knows how to end it." Daniel stares at the drawing, realization dawning like cold light. The curse wasn't Martha's doing. It began long before her. Morning light creeps across Daniel Carter's weary face as he sits at his desk, Lily's sketch still trembling in his hand. The name Dr. Stephen Haldane echoes in his thoughts like a ghost. He remembers the psychiatrist's calm voice from years ago when he treated Martha Carter during her breakdown. Daniel finds the number online, calls, and after several rings, hears the same measured tone. "Mr. Carter, I was expecting your call." The words freeze him. "How could you?" "Because she told me you would," Haldane replies. "Your mother and I began something neither of us could end, but perhaps your daughter can." The line clicks dead, leaving only the faint hum of static, like a pulse under the floor. Dr. Stephen Haldane's office feels like a mausoleum. Old books, heavy curtains, the faint scent of dust and decay. Daniel sits across from him, eyes sharp with suspicion. "You treated my mother," Daniel says. Haldane nods, his thin smile unwavering. "Your mother believed the women in your family were vessels. She wasn't wrong." He slides an old photograph across the desk. Martha as a young woman, standing beside a grave marked Carter, 1883. "There was a ritual," Haldane continues. "A bond sealed through blood. Your mother tried to break it when you were born, but blood always calls back." Daniel's voice trembles. "And Lily?" Haldane's smile fades. "She's the last link. If she completes it, neither of you will belong to this world anymore." Daniel drives home in a daze. The road unspools endlessly, trees blurring past. He recalls Martha's voice, her pleas, her fear. He begins to understand. She wasn't warning him out of madness. She was afraid Lily would finish what she couldn't destroy. At a red light, Daniel grips the pendant around his neck, whispering, "I won't lose her." The pendant burns cold against his skin. Suddenly, the car radio crackles to life, though it's turned off. A faint whisper. Lily's voice threads through static. "Dad, come home." It's almost ready. The light turns green. Daniel presses the accelerator, heart hammering with a terror that feels like destiny closing in. When Daniel returns home, the front door is open. Inside, the house feels wrong. Too still, too quiet. Every light flickers faintly, as though reacting to his presence. He calls out, "Lily!" No answer. The faint hum returns, vibrating through the floorboards. Following it, he opens the basement door. A cold draft rises. The steps creak as he descends into darkness, flashlight trembling in his grip. On the far wall, Lily's sketches are taped together, forming one continuous mural. The buried house, the red windows, and in the final panel, himself standing before it, holding a pendant that bleeds light. A creak echoes behind him. Daniel turns, and there stands Lily Carter, barefoot, her eyes unfocused. You weren't supposed to come down here, she says softly. The light trembles over her face, pale and distant. Mom said you'd ruin it. Daniel's heart stops. Your grandmother's dead, Lily. She smiles faintly. She's not. She's waiting below. He reaches for her, but she steps back, lifting the pendant's twin from her neck, identical to his, glowing faintly red. She gave it to me, Lily whispers. She said it would keep us together forever. The lights above them flicker once, then go out completely, plunging them into darkness as the sound of slow, heavy breathing fills the room. The house feels alive. The walls breathe. The lights pulse in rhythm with Daniel's heartbeat. Lily Carter stands before him, her pendant glowing brighter with every flicker. Lily, he says, voice breaking. Whatever this is, we can stop it. She tilts her head, eyes distant. It's not a curse, Dad. It's a promise. Grandma said it began when you were born. You were supposed to finish it with me. Daniel's voice trembles. Finish what? Lily steps closer, placing her hand over his chest. The binding. The floor shudders beneath them, a deep groan rising from below, as though the house itself awakens. Daniel grips her shoulders. You're not her puppet, he whispers. You're my daughter. Her eyes glisten. Then, save me. Detective Area Bell bursts through the front door, gun drawn, calling Daniel's name. The sound of footsteps echoes from below. She descends, flashlight sweeping across the shaking basement. Daniel! She shouts, but her voice dies as she sees them. Father and daughter standing amid swirling dust, eyes reflecting the same impossible glow. It's her! Daniel gasps. She's trying to take Lily. The floorboards split, a deep crack, snaking across the concrete. A faint light emanates from beneath, warm and terrible. Aria steadies her aim. Tell me what to do. Daniel looks at her, desperate. Don't let her finish the ritual. The ground erupts in a blinding flare. From the light rises a shadow. Martha Carter, her form flickering like smoke, eyes empty, knowing. You broke your promise, Daniel. Her voice echoes. Now she belongs to me. Daniel shields Lily as Aria steps forward, trembling. You're dead, she whispers. Martha smiles faintly. Not yet. Her hand extends toward Lily, who stands motionless, her pendant pulsing faster. Daniel grabs his, shoving it against hers. A shock of light bursts between them, throwing him backward. Martha's voice rises in fury. Blood binds blood. You cannot unmake what's been sealed. Daniel crawls forward, voice hoarse. Then I'll end it another way. Daniel rises, blood streaking down his face, and grips the pendant in both hands. If this bond was made in blood, he whispers, then it ends in blood. Martha's form flickers violently. Don't do this, she hisses. Lily's voice trembles. Dad, please. Daniel smiles faintly through tears. I love you, kiddo. He crushes the pendant in his fist. The shards pierce his palm, blood dripping onto the cracked floor. The glowing fissure flares, swallowing the light from Martha's eyes. Her voice distorts into a scream that rattles the walls, then collapses into silence. Lily falls to her knees, pendant dark. Daniel stands, breathing hard. As the basement stills, silence. The house stands still again. The mural on the wall has turned to ash. The drawing's gone. Detective Area Bell helps Lily to her feet, while Daniel leans against the wall, exhausted. It's over. Aria says quietly, but Daniel shakes his head. No, it's never over. Not for us. He looks down at his bleeding hand. The shards of the pendant embedded in his palm shimmer faintly. From the floor, faint whispers rise, like echoes in water. Lily's voice, soft but certain, breaks the quiet. She's gone, Dad. He nods slowly. Then let's leave before she remembers where home is. Outside, dawn breaks through the trees, painting light over the battered house as they walk away together for the first time. Days after the confrontation, the forest behind the Carter house hums with quiet energy. Daniel Carter walks alongside Lily, hand in hand, retracing the path she once took to the hidden clearing. Her gaze is steady, determined. Dad, I need to finish it, she says softly. Daniel halts, heart tightening. Finish what, Lily? I thought it was over. She kneels in the moss, placing a small silver bowl in the center of the clearing. It's not about them anymore. It's about breaking it for good. Her voice trembles, yet strength underlies it. Daniel kneels beside her, hand over hers. The air shivers, a quiet power rising from the earth. Detective Area Bell observes from the edge of the clearing, cautious yet trusting. You're sure about this? She asks. Lily nods, lifting her pendant to the bowl, the crimson glow fading to silver. It's the final step, she explains. Daniel watches as a faint outline rises from the ground. A shadowy figure, Martha Carter, eyes pleading, arms outstretched. I can't stop it, she whispers, voice softer than memory. Daniel grips Lily's shoulder. You're stronger than her, Lily. We finish it together. The shadow flickers, struggling, the air rippling with tension as mother and daughter confront destiny in silence. The air thickens as Daniel kneels beside Lily, guiding her hand. Channel it to the earth, not the past, he instructs. Lily's brow furrows, energy spilling from the pendant into the bowl. The earth trembles slightly, moss shifting. Shadows twist around Martha's form, eyes widening as the power draws her downwards. No. Her voice rises, but it falters, replaced by a hollow echo. Daniel feels the pull of ancestral weight in his chest, yet Lily's calm determination steadies him. Together they release the energy, and the shadow collapses into the soil, dissipating into silver mist. When the mist finally fades, Lily exhales, dropping the pendant into the bowl. The forest is silent, except for distant birdsong. Daniel pulls her into a long embrace, forehead resting against hers. You did it, he whispers, relief breaking through exhaustion. Lily's lips curve into a small smile. We did it. Arya steps forward, kneeling to inspect the now empty clearing. Nothing left, she says quietly. Daniel surveys the forest, shadows receding, earth settling. For the first time, he feels the weight lift, the legacy of fear broken, the bond of father and daughter stronger than any curse. As they walk back toward the Carter house, Daniel glances at Lily, hand still intertwined with hers. You've grown so much, he says softly. Lily shrugs, expression half smiling. I had a good teacher. Daniel laughs quietly, the sound light for the first time in years. Arya follows a few steps behind, eyes scanning the forest, but no unease lingers. The house looms ahead, quiet and worn, yet no longer threatening. Shadows of the past have been laid to rest, leaving only the promise of mornings free from whispers. Father and daughter step through the gate together, the sun casting long, forgiving rays over their path. The morning after, the Carter house is quiet, the air filled with the soft hum of normalcy. Daniel Carter sits on the porch with Lily, her sketchbook open on his lap. You're still drawing, he says, tracing a pencil line over a tree she's sketched. Lily glances up, a small grin forming. Some things are just stories, Dad. Not curses. Daniel nods, heart lighter than it has been in years. The wind stirs the curtains inside, carrying no whispers, no shadows, only the faint scent of earth and rain. Outside, birdsong fills the yard, and sunlight falls in long golden strips, painting the front steps with warmth. Detective Area Bell approaches the porch, notebook tucked under her arm. All quiet, she asks, eyes scanning the yard for anything unusual. Daniel chuckles softly. Quiet, he replies. Lily waves without looking up, pencil moving again. I think we're done with mysteries for a while, she says. Aria smiles faintly, kneeling beside Daniel. You've been through a lot, both of you. Make sure to enjoy it. Daniel leans back, inhaling deeply. The wind shifts, and for the first time in years, the house feels alive with life rather than lingering shadows. Later, Daniel opens the mailbox and finds a letter with no return address. Inside, a single line is written in familiar handwriting. Well done. But remember, some legacies are never truly gone. He folds the paper slowly, staring into the empty street. Lily peeks over his shoulder. It's nothing, Dad, she says. Daniel smiles faintly, tucking the letter into his pocket. Maybe so, he murmurs. Yet he feels the weight of generations lifted, replaced by a fragile sense of safety. Outside, sunlight warms his face, shadows no longer threatening, only soft and familiar. That afternoon, Daniel and Lily sit under the old oak tree at the edge of their property. She sketches the tree while he reads quietly beside her. Dad, she says softly, do you think Grandma would be proud? Daniel looks down, tracing a line in the grass with his finger. I think she'd be relieved, he replies. Lily laughs lightly, the sound floating in the warm air. Relieved's better than proud, she says. Daniel chuckles. Together they sit in silence, the past's shadows finally behind them. The wind rustles leaves, sunlight dappling their faces, time moving gently forward. As evening falls, the sky glows in streaks of pink and gold. Daniel and Lily step inside the house together, closing the door gently. From the window, the world outside stretches calm and peaceful. The house hums softly with ordinary life, the smell of dinner, the faint creak of the floorboards. Daniel looks down at Lily and smiles. Tomorrow is ours, he says. Lily nods, eyes bright. Our story, Dad? Just ours. The camera pans upward as the sun sets behind the house, golden light bathing the roof. The last shadows of the Carter legacy fading into memory. Outside, birds settle into the trees. Night approaching gently, nothing stirring but peace.